on the train? What's that? The luck of the Irish.
Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. That was a little bit of humor, my type of humor from the Muppets years and years ago. If you were my age and you watched the Muppets, that was a regular television show. If not, I would encourage you to go on YouTube and find it. Anyways, yeah, that was a sense of humor. Right now, this is of seriousness, as it always tends to be a little bit serious, as people have suggested. To show you how my hearing aids work. This is the microphone, okay? And it is a microphone because the filters are found somewhere else on a hearing aid. This you could take off. It's mostly for cleaning. This goes over my ear if you don't know how hearing aids work. And this is obviously the wire that connects this to this. Red means this side, blue means that side. And because of the way technology is, and we all know how technology has moved in the world, medical technology, this is how I charge them. Instead of using batteries, I use these. Pop them in here every night, and then they have flashing lights. I used to call them my Christmas lights. So that's what I do. I broke the lid off of it when it dropped numerous times. If anybody watches Catch the Fire Raleigh online, that is Duncan and Kate Daniel Smith's church that they founded, and Jessica and Aaron are the Duncan's daughter Jessica, Duncan and Kate Daniel Smith's daughter Jessica, and Aaron, her husband, are the senior leaders. Former senior leaders were Ash and Murray. Ash Bouvier and Murray Smith. They were married at the time, not divorced. So they showed up last night. My hair looks incredibly awful today, sorry. But they showed up yesterday at Catch My Rally. Ash said she was on sabbatical. They had borrowed at Christmas time. Murray had borrowed Duncan's Nexus card. Duncan got a Nexus card because I told him to get a Nexus card when he was coming over the border repeatedly to come and see me at my apartment in St. Catharines. I said he was complaining about the tolls, and I said, get a Nexus card, it'll flip you right through. So he borrowed Duncan's Nexus card out of his home office, which is probably where he kept it. Anyway, so if anyone would have noticed, Murray had a messenger bag around him. In that messenger bag, when open, it had a dead rat. He also, when he was, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. He also had members of the Satanic Organization. They go through this thing, and I know this because Melinda Jeffries does. Melinda Jeffries wears a rodent in her big, large hiney, and I know that the men like Greg Satchel, I don't know about Josh Escracher, I don't know about anybody like Norman Brown or who wear rodents either on their ass, or on their penis. And they're live. Well, they're live when I put them on. I don't know if they'll be live when I some choose to, some don't. I don't know if it's a choice thing happening or if it's an endurance thing. I do know that when they put snakes around their waist, or when they wear snakes, where that's like an endurance thing, that's what Sandra Long does, and that's what Lillian Brown does when she wears her corset and then she wears the snake around it on her back. And that's Sandra Long does that as well, and that's what they did to Lara and Jasmine. They put John Arnott in room 828 put a snake around Lara's waist and a snake around Jasmine's waist, and I don't believe that it was alive. I would like to believe that it was dead, but I don't know. It's also a discipline thing. I guess they were trying to discipline her. I don't know. Anyways, so let me backtrack a little bit. Anyways, they were casted by Raleigh. They came through Buffalo. They flew out of Buffalo, flew into RGU. Um, as you know, that this microphone also connects me to Castify Raleigh to 2304 Page Road. Duncan did that on purpose. When I was actually in North Carolina in November of 2023. And it's still connected. So Murray, who likes to spend all night, every night, all the time, is in the office at Atwell Drive because he lives there. Because when he divorced Ash, he gave Ash the house, and so he gave Ash the house in the divorce, and he had the money to go and find. In fact, he had tried to buy a townhouse twice, or a condo. He was going to buy a condo over by Churchill Meadows. They have all these brand new condos that were being built and that were for sale, and he tried to buy a townhouse over by South Parade Court at one point. They joked around and said you should buy a townhouse there or a house, and then he said no, I'm going to buy one down in Etobicoke where I live right now. So anyways, but right now he lives in the office, and at one point he did rent a room at the Sandman Hotel, which he's allowed to because he's a leader at Catch Fire Toronto, so obviously they give them special concessions for people who work there. And so anyways, his address is basically 268 Atwell. I'm not saying that. So backtracking. Little background to what happened. He was in the office he was actually in Duncan's office. That's why I heard this. He was in Duncan's office and all night long. His purpose of being in Duncan's office, I know that Duncan had spoken to Murray about some things that were going on in Toronto, mostly me, and also Murray's drug addiction, as well as Murray's mental status, as well as Murray's involvement in the Satanic organization. So when Duncan talked to Murray and he left to go home, he also talked to Murray. Stayed there in the office. So when he stayed there in the office, Murray proceeded to go through Duncan's things, and Murray also proceeded to take pig's blood, put it all over Duncan's office, and put it in the Raleigh sanctuary. It's since been cleansed, both his office and Raleigh, the sanctuary Raleigh. They've had it cleansed and cleaned up. He also was, at one point, he had attacked the senior leader. And when I say the senior leader, he had attacked Jessica. When he attacked Jessica, Jessica went into a seizure. And I don't know where she's at right now. I told Duncan to put him into because I could hear him through the microphone, and it woke me up. And I told Duncan to put Jessica into the recovery position. So I'm assuming at that point the paramedics were called, and I don't know her whereabouts right now, if she's in the hospital or she's been discharged or wherever that is. This isn't about Jessica Nearbird. This is about Murray Smith. Murray Smith had then proceeded to, like I said, what Duncan called the police, and when the police finally showed up, the police could not arrest him because Murray said that he apparently it's not a crime in North Carolina to pour pig's blood or to have pig's blood. He could not be arrested or charged. I don't know if he was given a warning, or I don't know. Just as far as I know, is that he could not get. Now, you see, I'm all over the place with this because I don't want to give out the wrong information. This is what I do know. I do know that he poured pig's blood in Murray poured pig's blood in Duncan's office, went through his office. He also went into the sanctuary, and he did it in there. I do know that the police were called. Duncan wanted to be arrested and charged. The police did not arrest him. They did, however, issue a warning. That is what I do know. I also know that that Ash, because she does wear a corset, because she is anorexic, and she does coat that corset and t-shirts with crack cocaine like Lillian Brown does, that Ash showed up in in Raleigh. She was high. Do you know when Ash talks, or when Ash is talking or speaking, and when Ash is out speaking, either on the stage. I've witnessed this, and Ash is that goes, and she's like that. She's high. She's had a drug addiction for years, since before she entered Toronto. Duncan told me this. So since before she entered Toronto, she's had a drug addiction. I contacted Homeland Security. Homeland Security and submitted a tip for the Port of Buffalo. I contacted Homeland Security with the point that Murray could be carrying rodents. Murray could be carrying his crack pipe, because Murray is a crack addict. Ash will have crack or on her clothing. She could potentially be carrying crystal methadone. Murray admitted on the phone, I heard over the microphone, Murray admitted that he contacted Homeland Security after I contacted Homeland Security or the police, and had stated that I was coming into Buffalo. I expected to meet Aaron Nibier, and I expected to give him crystal methadone. So the police said, so are you a dealer or are you a user? And Murray, because he was high, in his infinite wisdom, and I'm being sarcastic, said, I'm both. I'm also a warlock. Ash has a visa issue. I didn't mention the visa issue. I suspect they will not be entering Canada for a while. I would be surprised if they do come back. Now, I have yet to hear from my lawyer, and I did mention, however, when I did the tip, that Murray is facing charges for molesting children and for raping young women. And Cash Fire Toronto, over 18 families have come forward and and raping children and young women. So if you have been raped by Murray, or if you are a parent and your child has been molested by Murray, and you would know this if you can, delicately ask the child some questions, that please go forward. If you haven't come forward yet, go into 23rd Division. That's a jurisdiction. I also mentioned that there was a defamation of character suit involving Ash. So, like I stated, I'm not doing this to be vindictive because of what Ash and Sandra did to me, and Ed Verhaven did to me when I was at the Port of Detroit, and how Ash had contacted and said that I had crystal methadone taped to my clothing, underneath my clothing, taped to my body, and how I was pat searched in a holding cell and thrown against the wall. No, I'm not doing it because of that. I'm not doing it because Ash and Sandra Long and Murray has defamed my character, pulled job, not Murray though, it was been Sandra and Ash and Melinda Jeffries, and has pulled job applications. I'm not doing it because Jonas Regato has ruined a job, and Melinda Jeffries has ruined a job, and Ash has ruined a job, and when I worked at KGS and pulled application, or Jonas Regato had gone into Etobicoke to an apartment building complex and ruined that. I'm not doing it because Norman Brown had stolen my mail and a $50,000 check repeatedly when I lived on Escada Drive. I'm not doing it because Jonas Regato had been following me because at Ash and Sandra's request. I'm not doing it because Melanie Regato had decided that she would have Lara and Jasmine repeatedly sexually exploited and put them in betting schedules. I'm not doing it because I'm suing Cashifier's little hiney for $3.5 million. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for justice. It's time that people, because Castifier Toronto, it's time that the truth is coming out. It's time that people need to recognize I'm not as vindictive as people would like to say or people would like to think. Sandra Long wanting to call in a bomb threat to the new Toronto Street Daily Food Bank is more than wrong morally and ethically. It is illegal. Murray Smith and Ash Bouvier coming across the border to do Castifier Raleigh, bringing rodents with a full intention of taking Castifier Raleigh for the satanic organization is not just illegal, but is wrong morally, ethically, and in any way, shape, or form, like, like he has Toronto. Um, it's not just wrong, it's not me being vindictive when I see children who are close to my heart, like Lara and Jasmine and Summer, being repeatedly put in a raping schedule, as well as dozens of other young women, children, boys, little boys and girls. That's not just being vindictive, that's something that I think is highly illegal, immoral, and unethical. That's not being vindictive to make sure that you out there, young women who have been handed raping schedules by Mary Audrey Raycroft, by Lillian Brown, or whoever, to stop. That's not vindictive to stop rapes in a church that's supposed to be, it used to state, walking in the Father's love and giving it away. That's not what they mean by walking it in the Father's love. They don't mean incest. They don't mean molestation. They don't mean rape. They don't mean work your way up as a female leader and constantly being able to get raped. That's not what it's about. I follow the Judeo-Christian ethic of forgiveness, repentance, love, hope, faith, and joy. I follow that, as I will follow putting on my armor every day. Melanie Regato sees me through the camera, and she likes to know what I wear so she could go out and she could pretend she's me, curl her hair like me, and behave erratically and hit people and do whatever she was doing. Melanie Regato is suffering from her mind and her brain. She had an amphetamine addiction. She was given amphetamines repeatedly. Melanie Regato is a liar. I'm not being vindictive when I start telling the truth, and when people start spreading rumors about me and continue to spread rumors about me, but not one police officer who Sandra Long has contacted of where I'm going or what I'm doing, or Norman Brown or security guard, can arrest me when I write down my activities at Union Station, at Air Mills Town Centre, and at Square One Shopping Centre. When police officers see me at Mimico Central Library, when police officers see me going into New Toronto Food Bank, and they write down my activities, and I'm not arrested. No one, they had to make up such lies to varying degrees, defaming my character, having family members believe it, family unit, biological family unit believe it, and some biological family members, I'm not talking about Emery, believe it. And they had to go forward into telling people throughout Niagara, throughout wherever, Toronto, as well. I'm not being vindictive. I'm telling the truth. And the truth is setting me free. And the truth will set you free. And the truth will put those in prison.